Yeah, this week's installment of Something's Broke on my Towncar, and I'm far too cheap to pay someone to do something I'm perfectly capable of doing. I had to take the dash out. The actuator for the max AC vent and the dash vent took a dump. No max AC on your chi-chis, and that's what you need in the desert here. So it had to go, and as you see, it's back in. I'm showing you this at the end just so I remember to point off all the things that you're going to be looking for. If you're tempted to do it, it's not as bad as you think. It does take time. This is the second time I've done it on this specific car, and I learned a lot and did a bunch of other BS that I shouldn't have done the first time. For one, you don't need to take the gauges out. You don't need to take the radio out. You don't need to take the AC controls out. You don't even need to take the ashtray out. Glove box can stay. You do have to drop the steering column. It's easier just to pull it to get it out of the way. It can float in here, but when I did it the first time, it was a nuisance. This time I popped it from the U-joint and tossed it in the trunk. It made a world of difference with space. So check this out. Obviously, you got to pull off your plastic stuff. If you don't know how to pull your plastic stuff off, you're going to want to look that up, and this is probably way beyond your skill set. Not to insult you, but if the plastic is defeating you, just close the video. I'm sorry, bro, I can't help you. Those of you who are going to run into this and dig shoulder deep, here we go. You're going to end up pulling out bolts on both sides. Take this drop down bracket. There's a big metal bracket I don't have in place yet because I'm getting ready to test. That drops out, and you take this brace out. Steering column, there's 4 bolts, nuts that you've got to drop out. I want to say they're 15/16s. On this one I won't have all your specs because my tools are scattered. I did this in 100 degrees and it had to get done, so I don't have the memory for that at the moment. And then back under yonder, here's your U-bolt one. Pop that loose. As you drop this out, you've got all sorts of connectors. Make sure you get your parking brake one off. If you drop it with the parking brake cable in here, it's going to pull it out of your column and screw it all up. Ask me how I know. So anyhow, back to what you're pulling out. After you get your column dropped, there's this brace right here on the tunnel. You got 4 nuts right there. Come over yonder here, you've got this bolt right here, and then tucked up in here. And I don't believe the camera's going to get it, but let's see. You see that nut back in the corner? There we go, I got her. Pull that one out. Then come over to your passenger side here. Now keep in mind there's vacuum lines back in here that you're going to come undone as you pull it apart. And then coming over to the corner of your dash, you're going to want to take off these grounds because they're connected to the harness that is inside the dash itself. Disconnects from in here too. There is this bolt right here, holds it to the body. I don't believe there's anything in here. Let's double check. No, nothing in here that needed to come undone. Bear with me as I roll around. And then you come up top side. There's your defroster vent. Pop that out. And then you've got 3 screws. 1, 2, and 3. Those pop out. And then you start wiggling the dash forward. I don't think I've overlooked any other fasteners. Let me eyeball around. I'm just gonna call it good because that's what I recall from the torture I went through yesterday. So you pop that loose, you can scoot it forward. If you need, your actuator for your AC vent is right here. That's the cause of why I was in here. I did the actuator, I did both of them. There's one for the max AC. You can see it tucked up in there. This one you apparently can fish through the glove box, but that wasn't my problem. I wish it was. So I also did the heater core. I was in this. It's a replacement heater core from 7 years ago, but when I lost a head gasket, the first sign was I lost my heater core and it steamed up my dash. All right, come back around yonder. If you've got to pull out the heater core box, you've got to actually start from the inside here. Take off the cowl paneling that runs across. See how much more space it gives you. It's kind of absurd, but it's beautiful once you get it out. There are studs, I want to say there's 6 of them, that have a 12 millimeter, let's say, but hey, I'm not going to be perfect on this one. All the way around, and then there is actually a bolt that's stuck in here. Let's see. It's hiding right there. It's easier if you take out a couple of the screws in the wheel well, push the wheel well down, give you some space. It takes you like 3 minutes, and you're not going to get as beat up as you would normally. Right in yonder here is where the modular goes for the fan for the AC speeds. You're going to want to take this out to be able to wrestle this box out. You have to take off this heater hose just so it slips past. It gives it that extra ½ inch that God didn't, and you got the room you wanted. So that comes out. Toss this whole evap box off to the side. You can leave it connected. You don't need to discharge it. It does give you enough flexibility to move it out of the way. Then those studs have another nut on the back side of them. You're going to go in, you're going to remove all of that, and that's going to loosen the heater box inside the dash. Then you're going to be able to pull it out. There's a handful of wires and connections. The biggest issue, and I remember this from last time I fought it, is the way that it connects to the ducting. There's a duct that runs under here, quack quack and whatnot, and the elbow that connects the dash piece to that doesn't want to fit. You can't really put it in there and swing the heater box back in there. Last time I had to pull the seats carpet and got it all to snap back together. If you think about the way these cars were assembled, the dash probably went in before the rest of everything else went in. So you lose your little inches that you have to wiggle around with. Anyhow, I've got it all back together for the most part. I'm going to button up the interior now. I wanted to show you all the little pieces before I hide them, and give you the encouragement if you're trying to save yourself the 11, 12, 1300 bucks of shop charges for this. I did both actuators. I did the heater core, maybe 100, 125 bucks in parts. This is a serious like 8-10 hours of labor, even when you know when you're doing, simply because it's time consuming. You got to work your way through some of the struggle bus stuff of, hey, this doesn't work, so I need to pull more stuff out so it does. So anyhow, there's some info for you guys. Everything went back together smoothly for the most part. My biggest problem is our first 100-degree day hit yesterday, and kind of tuckered me out better than it should have. So hope that all helps. This is off of a 2000 Towncar. So what is that, 99 to like 98 to 2002. I hope that helps you out, man. Have a good one.